So like definitely I'm still sitting with my person theory and person that is the like in the gates to like the world that follows in which like currently often as well as like chat have been tracked in like definitely that gates uh will be like probably a fake gate like created by Borahara. Definitely my person represent all the things that are going on right now will be only going according to precisely Borahara's plan. It's definitely my person represent. As for like recently like while Chad got safely trapped into like that cage, like even that gate even showing up through this like smoke cloud that like that precisely for Ahara and everyone in Ahara stock had seen like definitely that precise smoke cloud smoke tornado like thing storm would be like precisely created precisely by Orahara stealthily through its like secret experiments. It's definitely my personal theory impression. So like, and if he might have created that thing, that's the dark storm like thing, which leads, which actually eventually results in that thing that eventually opens up that the gates to like the world of follows. Like he might have started this experimenting, Orahara might have started this experiment on creating that dark smoke tornado precisely the moment like Yorojin might have phoned Urahara from the Soul Society and reported to Urahara about like precisely agents taking like feeling the solitude from Rukia and basically like agent heading off to like the world of follows. Like at that point itself, like Yorojin might have only reported it to Urahara and at that point itself Urahara might have began like working on creating like this dark smoke tornado thing, gate opening, like follow world gate opening thing. That's definitely my personal reference. So definitely, firstly because of all this theory, my personal all this theory, like I'm not only putting like Torodo as well as Nova as well as like in there and will be precisely secret subordinates of like Orahara, totally working for Orahara. It's definitely my personal theory and so right now, was only leaning more towards like the possibility of like Ishida as well. Among Ichigo's friends, like Ishida as well would also be like essentially Ishida would be like the next target and like the next person among like Ichigo's friends to be precisely get trapped into like the gates of in through the gates into like the world of Hollow. So definitely my personal favorite. Like Origin and Child, like next the next target will be Ishida. It's definitely my personal favorite. And definitely my personal impression. And personally, only protecting like Urahara, this will all be happening according to Urahara secret plan to like get to go to like the world of follows and that eventually, yeah, that way eventually to like for sure. And definitely this time Urahara would be like totally planning on going along with Ichigo one to like and for like this would all be according to Urahara's plan for like eventually for like Ichigo to like totally feel helpless and seek Urahara's help for Ichigo to like go into like the world of follows and basically that way for Urahara to like totally like put on this fake act as if like he genuinely wants to like help Ichigo exactly like back when like Urahara like put on the fake act as if like Urahara was trying to help Ichigo save Rukia when in actuality all Urahara wanted was like the Hokage. Yes, definitely back in like it's definitely my personal time, but like this time it would be like I'm only Urahara would be going along with like Ichigo to like the world of Horus. It's definitely my personal direction. And I'm considering like what Urahara might have only got wrong in terms of like that's my personal theory. Like Urahara's logic might have only failed when it comes to like the precise order in which like Urahara had precisely trapped Ichigo's friends. Certainly my personal theory. Especially since like Ishida is like the sharpest and most intelligent among like Ichigo's friends. Like I'm considering like my personal theory is that like Urahara should have like targeted Ishida first so that like Ishida wouldn't get enough time to figure out like so that like the positive should I like figuring out the positive for Rafa being behind all this like front of Ichigo like and this like mysterious cat and like traffic getting trapped all this like front of Ichigo just getting trapped into like the world of all of it quickly because after like all of them like knowing about like the Hokage and or knowing about like how badly Urahara wants like the Hokage and since like currently the Hokage is in like Aiden's possession in like the world of Hollows and so like this and currently like right now coincidentally also since like Ichigo's friends one after another are getting dragged into and trapped into like the world of Hollows. So basically precisely because of this collectively like adding all this up like the the possibility of Ishida basically it seems like the possibility of Ishida someone as sharp as Ishida like basically figuring it all out and basically for that basically Ishida the Urahara would be definitely most likely behind all this happenings like basically to avoid such an outcome like basically like what my person Durian mentioned that like Urahara might not only mistakenly forgot to like societally logically precisely target Ishida first and then sort of like trap Ishida through like the gate into like the world of follows so that like and then target chat and only after like Ishida and chat to potentially target for him and so that like that way like the possibility of like Urahara's like secret villainous plan to get Ichigo to like someone follows to get Hogiku back like basically that villainous secret plan of like Urahara would not be able to like be figured out by Ichigo and Renji is definitely my personal version. So definitely like I will definitely the second my personal version that like the precise gates to like the world of follow through which like Sad as well as Orochime have been like, currently dragged into that gate would be totally a fake gate. That gate won't be at all leading to like the world of follows. It will be only like a gate leading to like the world of follows only in like appearance alone, which was created by Urahara precisely. Is definitely my personal remembrance. So like that precisely at the moment Orochime as well as Sad were dragged into those gates of follows like into like the world of follows like basically that would be only a fake gate that might have instantly teleport like or in a pellet chat into precisely Urahara's like home. This Urahara's shop like most likely in like the basement like place. This is definitely my personal memories. So, and I'm preferring like currently either chat as well as for him will be either in like the same room or like they would be in like different rooms and they won't be able to be able to like figure out exactly where they are. Like they all they would be like able to see would be like them being in just a room that's they would have no idea as to like where exactly that room is. That's definitely my percentage and ratio. So like that's like the scenario that I'm considered or like a thing. And as for like for Urahara's plan would be to like precisely or next basically precisely target Ishida as well and trap Ishida as well into like the gate of Horus. Uh, so that like basically and trap Ishida as well into that precise room along with like Chad as well as like Orochime so that like at that point like Urahara would be totally expecting for Ichigo to absolutely and totally feel absolutely helpless that basically Ichigo desperately seeking Urahara's help and Ichigo totally telling Urahara that basically he too wants to like go to like the world of follows to precisely help his like friends so that like at that point I was praying for like Urahara to totally tell Ichigo that basically like he too would help Ichigo. He would come along with like Ichigo this time and I was preparing this time it for to be most likely Yorichi that will be like precisely opening up like and keeping like the portal open to leading to like the and then numbers were only looking for like Urahara at that point to like totally put on fake act that like he's like totally working hard and creating this like thing that can activate and open up like and create like this gate leading to like the world of all of when Urahara might have already created like an actual gate actual portal that can open up like the actual true gate of like the world of all of us definitely members in the remnants. So like I'm considering that way, like I'm considering Urahara would be like most likely going and this time I'm considering Yorichi is only because of some specific reason I'm considering especially since it was like Yorichi that had already gone along with like Shichiban to rescue Rukia back in like Soul Society. I'm considering this time it would be most likely Yorichi since that time it was like Urahara that stayed back. This time I'm considering maybe for like Yorichi two possibilities. Either you're just staying back and because of some specific reason while Urahara will be going along with Ichigo. Or like the other possibilities, both Yoroshi as well as Urahara going along with like Ichigo. That's like it's either one of these two possibilities is definitely under consideration. And apart from like Urahara and Yoroshi, along with Ichigo, like the other people that I'm definitely expecting, especially for like not only Renji but also I'm expecting for Renji to like totally phone either Renji phoning Rutia and reporting to Rutia to like the whole happening in like the world of humans. That's like one possibility, or like I'm talking the other possibility that I'm referring is like since like Kyoto has already been I think like Renji had already found Kyoto or like reported or basically since expectations like Kyoto has currently like figured out about like those the whole strange happening in like the human world, which is friends only being dragged and taken into like the world of horror. So, like basically since that news has already reached like your husband of everything that that news to like totally through most likely through your through that news totally reaching Rupiah's like the important to the language difference. So basically at that point itself like Rupiah totally desperately wanting to like help Ichigo as well as like join in on the team to like especially help Ichigo to like precisely especially since like people like Orihime as well as Chad like totally put in all that hard work and effort to precisely just to precisely rescue Rukia. Like Rukia would totally want to like repay that debt. So like and bring Rukia totally showing up to on the moment Rukia would be hearing about that news is definitely not something behind it. So like at that point, like even though Ichigo would badly wouldn't want like Rukia coming along with Ichigo to like the world of Horror, it's told solely due to like that uh, that extreme concern and worry Ichigo would be having towards Ichigo of like getting Rukia into like any more danger, but like still emphasizing Rukia totally being adamant about like going along with Ichigo and through. So like emphasizing at that point, like the official team, that final team that will be heading off to like the world of horrors like empathy putting it could be like empathy putting it will be most likely the team of like Ichigo I'm leaning more towards about it that it could be most likely the team of like Ichigo Urahara as well as like empathy putting it could be most likely the team of Ichigo Urahara Renji and Rukia. That would be like the team A that would be heading off to like the world of horrors through like the actual original gate into like the world of horrors is like one is like would be like the team A of like that would be heading off to like the world of Follows to precisely rescue Orihime, rescue and bring back Orihime and Chad is like the one is like the possibility that I'm referring. So like as for like the team B, I'm referring like as per like maybe according to Haramato or reveal this plan to like Yorichi. So like I'm referring like it would be maybe like the team could be certainly Yorichi that would be like once again like opening the trap opening like the website gates leading to like the world of photos and basically like I'm supposed to bring Yoriki as per like for a secret plan like totally convincing and totally tricking Chad and for him who would be still present Chad or him as well as Ishida who would be like still present in like that basement area of like Urahara's shop and like Yorochi showing up there and like Yorochi telling them that like basically he has Yorochi totally putting on the fake act as if like he has no idea how like he should have chat and for him even ended up in like the basement like basically and like as if like Yorochi as well have absolutely no connection to so like Yorochi as well have absolutely no connection to like Tsurudo Nova as well as like Lyra, while in actuality maybe like Urahara might have secretly revealed Urahara's like full plan to like Yorochi. So like your what Yorochi would be telling to Ishida chat and everything at that point doing and everything would be totally according to like Urahara and Yorochi's like secret plan. So like the other person that demonstration. So like at that point Yorochi totally putting on this ultimate fake act in front of chat or and Ishida and telling them that like and that basically like the team of like Ichigo like Renji Rukia and Urahara basically have gone off to like the actual world of all of thinking that like yeah, you guys like Ishida chat and for him they might actually have been trapped there and so like basically we need to like as soon as possible like Yorojit totally putting on the fake act and telling like Ishida and that way freaking and convincing like chat or him and Ishida then basically we have to like so we have to like they have been like sort of trapped somehow so like basically we have to like as quickly as possible like head off to like the world of sort of and the Orochi might be only also telling them that Urahara had actually even created like the portals to and that way this portal gate leading to like the actual world of Horus to precisely so that like they could like totally go up to like the world of Horus to like search for like a thing that way they could be in like the world of for them to like go to like the world of Horus and search for like chat or Kine and this and also like Yoroi only putting on the spec act as if like Yoroi has maybe just have any idea like that this entire time like Hinachar or his Ishida were like actually trapped within this like basement room of like Urahara's like shop. So like that way like Yoroi only telling that basically we need to like precisely head to precisely like the actual world of horror through this precise portal opening gate that precisely Urahara have created, and that way we need to like as quickly as possible like work to like the world of Hollow and like get and we have to like as quickly as possible travel to like the world of Hollows and get to like if you go and through and tell them that like you guys are totally safe and that way like basically that way as quickly as possible like we all have to like return back to like from like the world of Hollows. So and you're already telling them that like the world of Colossus is like an extremely dangerous place. So like we have to get there as quickly as possible and tell like Ichiban Kuro as for like the reality of the situation and get Ichiban Kuro like and along with like Ichiban Kuro like you have to get back to like the world of like the living like the world of humans like get back to as soon as possible. Like basically along such lines like you're already trekking into that chance as well as like or him and when in actuality according things will be like all that will be precisely according to like the secret plan of like Yorochi as well as like Orahara where like Yorochi and Orahara would precisely want not just Ichigo but like but like the entire clan of like Ichigo with like Chad or Hime as well as like Ishida as well as like Ichigo Renji and all of them to like precisely along with like that way along with like Kurahara as well as like Yoroichi for all of them collectively to like basically head off to like the world of Hollows and basically for them to like basically eventually find Aizen and for that way to get Ichigo to like fight off against like Aizen before Aizen possesses like is able to like possess like the power of the Hogekyo. Precisely since like Urahara was like the first person who created like the Hogekyo, Urahara would precisely be well and fully aware of like the exact time that like actually would be required for like Aizen, even though Aizen have this Hogekyo wisdom, like not for Aizen to be able to like possess like the power of like the Hogekyo, like time, even though they're not remembering like not a lot of time would be like for her would be having like before like I mean like before like Ethan is able to like like the power of the Holy Ghost. And this would be that ultimate truth that basically precisely like Mayuri might have totally tricked since like the science head of like science and research department of the society is currently Mayuri and at least it's still 6 to remember so Mayuri definitely have like secret alliance with like Asian. So those bring Mayuri might not only trick like again to side into trick into into thinking that they have a lot of time until like Asian is even able to like also like the power of like the Tokyo. But since that would be like a total and absolute lie. So like since Urahara was like the precise person who created like the Tokyo, Urahara would precisely know that that time is short for them before like they need to like so according to like Urahara and Yorochi's secret plan like they will be like trying to get Ichigo and Pro as soon as possible to precisely where Aizen will be so that like before like Aizen of like the power of the Hokage like Urahara and Yorochi would want Ichigo to like fight off against Aizen and basically that way Ichigo to like far and defeat and bring down Aizen before Aizen is able to put like the power of the Hokage so that like at that point, I'm considering like Urahara might be, maybe like Urahara might also be prepared to like say at that point on sleeping like the Hokage for like eventually for like Urahara to precisely seal the Hokage on Ichigo's body. Like this might be like Urahara's plan. So that like since like Urahara would be having like high expectations for Ichigo, especially since like it might have been definitely through like Urahara's conscious intent that like through the precise training that Urahara and like the master had given to Ichigo to like turn Ichigo into like a soul reaper. That might have been like a conscious training, villain's training that Urahara might have or at least stealthily given to Ichigo to precisely turn Ichigo into like half hollow and half soul reaper so that like that way like Ichigo wouldn't have like the limitations of like the sword fighting methods like so maybe like this might have all been done consciously by Urahara with the conscious eventual intent and goal to like precisely on Urahara realizing like it was like it was having like exceptional potential within him. Like Urahara might have since then might have formed this plan in his mind to like precisely shift like the Hokage from eventually once like Ichigo will be bringing Rukia back like for Hara to separately shift like the whole queue from Rukia to Ichigo might be like Urahara's long term plan since then is certainly my considering. So like even as right now Urahara's current plan with Ace also doing like the whole equal like Urahara's current plan to like would be to like precisely get Ichigo to like fight and defeat Aizen before Aizen is able to like possess like the power of the Hokage and at that point for like for Haras to supposedly take the Hokage and basically seal it on to like Ichigo. So that like at that point like with Ichigo already not having any sort of limitations of like the four fighting methods and Ichigo himself being like path follow already being like path follow and path soldier but like on top of that if Ichigo even the Hokage seal within Ichigo and that way Ichigo is able to like access like the power of the Hokage as well and such like Ichigo is like a genuine good character as well who doesn't have any sort of villainous intent at all so like collectively because of all this reason like basically Urahara would be absolutely I'm pretty confident that basically if Urahara is able to like get the Hokage and basically seal it onto like Ichigo's body like at that point like the Hokage would be like forever safe uh, is definitely my from and that way like the Hogi would never fall in like the hands of like any villains and that way like none of like the villains would be able to like use the Hogi to ever for any sort of villainous intent. This would be what Urahara would be totally thinking and this would be like the secret and ultimate plan of Urahara. And so like everything that's going on right now with Chaz and Orihime being trapped into like the through the gates of like the world of Olos and basically all that would be totally going according to Urahara's like this ultimate plan to like precisely achieve exactly this is definitely my total impression. Also like I definitely have the impression that I'm still thinking on those that sort of dark stone that basically surrounding Orihime's because Chan was dragged away into like the gates of like the world of horror. Like I'm referring like that this stone, dark stone might have been precisely even surrounding Organa such as during while Organa as well was dragged into like the gates of like the whole world. That name was in the rainbow and the purpose of like the and functionality of like the stone that the stone might have not just might not just be to basically create like the gates that's the festival would be like appearing gates that would like just in appearance would be seen as if like it's like leading to like the world of Horseman. In actuality it could be only like it's so it like it could be only a teleportation to Kurahara's stop basement location would be like only what would be constantly happening. It's definitely my person the episode that I'm still taking on to but like the other main function of that precise dark stop might have been precisely to like it could definitely have like the power to like basically greatly reduce the person's spiritual the sort of spiritual energy is definitely my positive emotion. A person or like a sort of like spiritual energy is definitely my positive emotion. And this might have been the precise reason for even like the precise subordinates of Orahara being easily able to or for even Ichigo and Ishida and Renji as well as Chad as well as for him and like the fact that the subordinates of who would be Kuroda, Nova as well as Laren would be definitely be subordinates of Kurama and the fact that they were so easily able to they not only drag and take away Chad and Ohime, but also the fact that they were able to easily offer Ichigo the team of Ichigo, Ishida and especially Ichigo and Renji due to precisely because of that dark storm which is greatly suppressing Ichigo and Renji's the spiritual process. It's definitely my positive impression. So this is definitely my positive impression. Like Urahara might have precisely created that dark storm precisely with that precise intent. My other person theory that ambassador on the protein is basically that real zone ambassador definitely sticking to my personal impression that Ishida as well will be the next target and will be precisely driving and taken through the gates appearing to be leading to the world of knowledge next. So Ishida would be the next target and at that point I was preferring initially it would be okay, I was going up to to the human world to perfect health Ichigo and throughout to perfectly to perfectly rescue or human as well as Ishida and then was preferring at that point finally it would be the king of Ichigo Harukia Renji as well as like Urahara. That will be precisely about to that. And by when like Urahara creating like basically like Urahara be telling them that as if Urahara by then like basically putting on the fake characters like he's creating like that actual an actual gate leading to like the world of Apollo, which like he would have already created even before that. So like Urahara creating that and that's precisely Ichigo through we are about to like head to that actual world of through that gate to that actual world of all of things in that way they will be able to like save for him a chat and they should I like at that very last second before them entering into that through that gate and of the bring them probably getting that the most unexpected visit precisely most likely from Tatsuki is definitely my question to reference especially because like even though it will definitely, totally would be definitely or that might have only erase like the memories of like Tatsuki right now. But the thing like still Tatsuki solely due to like her having that extreme strong and absolute bond of like friendship with like or even about the thing even that memory erasing effect if that memory is erasing that Urara might have already done on like Tatsuki even that it's like effect coming under solely due to like that core and ultimate and absolute bond of friendship that Tatsuki has towards like what organized that Lima to so that way like Tatsuki gaining back her memories and basically that memories connecting to Origin and basically especially as like it's going to be like about to end up into like the case leading to like the world of like Tatsuki especially like showing up is like the scenario that I was referring to. Like after getting back that getting back her memories, like she will be searching all around for like argument. It's definitely my taking the emergence. So like that to be like on getting back her memories like that we will be like realizing then that time like for him such been totally necessary. It's definitely my taking the so like that is hearing or him that basically or him most likely in some trouble so like that is deciding to like head off to head up and trying to like find Ichigo, thinking that Ichigo would know most likely know like what happened to Orihime. So like that way Natsuki is something in like most likely and for the working this would all be happening in like the middle of the night. Like the maybe like Natsuki is searching for Orihime like the entire day all around and like maybe like by it will be by like in like the middle of the night, like as Ichigo is only about to pass through the gates, like at that point, like by then like Natsuki only finding Ichigo and the others, like even though they will be in like their soldier performs like Tatsuki is like Tatsuki as well has like had like a spiritual awakening like as well as something Tatsuki had only being able to like see Ichigo and through at that point at that second so like at that point like Tatsuki had only being like adamant about like her to wanting to like go along with like Ichigo and through like and also definitely. And at that point, I was preparing Ichigo and through Ichigo totally extremely reluctantly like being forced to like take Tatsuki as well along with him. And basically Tatsuki as well along with like the team of like Ichigo, Renji and Rukia like and Urahara, like basically totally heading off to like the world of follows through that gate that Urahara would created to like the world of follows is like the eventual scenario that I'm talking about lifting and making with the impression. And so like I'm still second to my book with the impression that like that precise clothing that precisely that Kurono Nova as well as like earlier war like basically that clothing as well might have been precisely a special custom kind of like throat that basically a robe that basically precisely Urahara might have specifically created for them that would like so they have the power to precisely process like the whole suppressing of like the kitchen and the by the effects of like the dark cloud which like literally opens up like the gate what appears as like the gates leading to like the world of force which should all be like created by Urahara is also the name of the mechanic. Hence like Ichigo and Renji the even stand and or like another for him or like chat weren't like even able to like do anything against like Kurolo Nova as well as like Lyric is definitely also my person to end. So like definitely my person to interaction right now as for like the act of like Ichigo currently like leaving his like organ human body with like Urahara and was referring to totally backfire on Ichigo with like Urahara eventually totally blackmailing Ichigo with like basically totally taking the life of that original human body of Ichigo. Precisely like Urahara blackmailing Ichigo in such a manner eventually once like and but different like once like the team B of like Yoruichi as well as like Yoruichi as well as Chad or him as well as like Ishida to be eventually like showing up to like the world of photos to like precisely according to like Yoruichi's secret plan to like through which like Yoruichi would be like by then like Chad or him as Ishida telling that they will be they should like get to like the world of photos as soon as possible to find Ichigo and Throw and bring them back and make them tell them and that way like make them realize that like you guys are totally safe and that way to like get bring them back to like the world of living like basically Yoruchi is totally tricking the team of like Chad or him and Ishida that way and eventually ends up bring one like so that way the team V of like Yoruchi and Pro makes it eventually makes it to like Ichigo the team of like Kurahara and Ichigo and Pro like at that point I was totally preferring most likely like it's Fisher through which most likely I was preferring maybe it would be to send you through like at that point definitely I was preferring like definitely Urahara and Yoroki totally all of a sudden like totally unwilling to like basically like return to head back to like the world of humans and like them sending Ichigo to like totally find and fight Hazel and get back the Holy and at that point I was trying Ichigo most likely definitely refusing to do that. And I'm was depressing at that point, like precisely the blackmail, the exact blackmail would be what I'm was depressing for like Yorochi, for like Urahara most likely making a Ichigo that basically that Urahara will be at that point only telling Ichigo that like I have assigned my subordinate back in like the at that point I'm also bringing Urahara totally revealing to Ichigo that basically like his subordinates like that. Maybe at that point will be when like Urahara will be revealing to Ichigo that basically Kurudo, like Nova as well as like the Red are like basically Urahara's subordinates and I have totally assigned them to like precisely take Ichigo's like they would be like precisely taking your Ichigo's like actual human bodies like in life if like Ichigo even like they have to like basically return back from like the world of follows and totally disobey Urahara. Basically that in such a way like I'm just referring Urahara totally blackmailing and that they forcing Ichigo to like precisely find Aizen and fight off against Aizen and bring back the whole Ichigo is like an eventual possible scenario that I'm just only for taking and not taking their impression. So like the flame of taking their impressions are like that thought was like basically like totally taking the threatening Ichigo was like taking the life of Ichigo's like actual human body. Uh, and that way like that blackmailing Ichigo into like basically like fighting off against like eventually fighting off against anything like that. Such a strategy like might have not even like feel like Urahara's mind at all. Like Urahara might have never been able to like think of such a never thought of such a strategy at all until like that strategy might have only been formed in Urahara's mind precisely when like the moment like totally in a non-expected manner like Duo had like currently thought which was like had the human body to like Urahara's shop was the name of the might have been only at that point that like this thought uh, might have probably been formed like Urahara's mind. So that they might be very good. So like according to like Urahara's initial plan, like Urahara might have been like initially planning on basically eventually once like Yorochi and team B of like of like Shadow of Ime and instead of once they will be usually meeting up as like Urahara's team of like Urahara and Ichigo and crew. Like at that point, even though they would be like badly wanting to like return back to like the human world, like Urahara might have been only initially planning on like since like by then like they would have according to like Urahara's expectation, like Urahara might have been only totally expecting to like precisely Urahara and Yorichi according to their plan, like they might have been only hope expecting for like by the time the team A would be team B would be meeting up the team A, like they would be like so far into like the world of follows that basically at that point, like I'm also preparing for Hara might have been initially only saying that like at that point, like convincing Ichigo to like definitely so that like at that point by then like they would have passed through all sorts of like dangerous enemies and all sorts of difficult situations that basically at that point like basically since like already they have like faced so much challenge just to be able to by the time like team B and B would be meeting up the team A, like they would have faced and overcame a lot of extremely difficult hurdles that basically at that point time was suffering or Hara might have been initially only planning on like being able to like convince Ichigo to like keep going forward and get like the Hokage fight the Aizen and bring down Aizen and get back the Hokage it's definitely my person dimension. So like I'm just different eventually, but like Ichigo totally like at that point once Team B meets up with Team A and like Ichigo figures out that basically or everything was like Konohara's trap. Like at that point, I'm just different maybe like most likely for like Ichigo totally like adamant about like wanting to like basically leave like the world of follows and return back. But like at that point, like Urahara totally at that point using this to like the fact that Ichigo's like active human bodies in like Urahara's shop, like basically that Urahara totally using that uh reality to like totally like blackmail Ichigo and to force Ichigo to like fight Jason and get back to close to this. It's like with the scenario that I'm just only bringing my relationship. And my question representation that like at that point when finally the team B would be meeting up with team A, like at that by then like I was that the most likely the main reason that I was expecting and predicting for like Ichigo not wanting to like fight up Jason, but like as soon as possible escape and leave like the world of all might have like a valid reason and that might be perfectly because like by then possibly in like the team be like basically Yorichi having like having died Yorichi possibly died in like the world of all like Yorichi being like right before like team B would be meeting up with like team and Yorichi the whole of Sumi is also still strong that Yoroji being forced to like basically sacrifice her life to like basically save like the team of like Chad or Hime as well as Ishida. So like I'm remembering through that sacrifice of Yoroji, I'm remembering one of them like totally having like an extreme awakening in their strength and using that strength like either Chad or Hime or like Ishida totally like overpowering and defeating that solo. And then like them have no idea where they are going like without even Yoriji by their side like but still them like totally by sheer and pure luck like then still being able to like meet up just like running into like team A of like Ichigo and Pro. It's like the scenario that I'm bring at that point at that point like Ichigo shockingly finding out about like Yoriji having someone like Yoriji like having died in like this exact like world of Polo. So like at that point so like, that being like the main and core reason for like Ichigo totally telling Urahara not like remember bring at that point Ichigo totally telling Urahara that like and Ichigo being totally adamant about this that basically he has to like get all of his like friends like as soon as possible back to like the human world so that like they could be like totally safe like with like even geology having died like that would be extreme of like extreme importance for Ichigo and Ichigo and totally telling Urahara that basically that like I will like or like Ambassador Ichigo at that point totally telling like Urahara that basically that maybe Ichigo will face all the dangers and would be stay back, like let them leave. Or like Ambassador Ichigo telling like Urahara that basically like let's just go back to like the human world and like Ichigo telling Urahara to give Ichigo more training to increase Ichigo's strength that basically in the future Ichigo will be fighting off against like Aizen and bringing down Aizen. But like Urahara will be talking along the lines of like no matter how strong Ichigo gets, like if Aizen possesses like the power of like the Hokage, then Ichigo won't be able to like stop Aizen. So like Ichigo has to do it right now, and Ichigo has to like fight and defeat Aizen before Aizen possesses like the power of the Hokage. So like Ichigo, this will be like the main point where like Ichigo and like there totally being a clash and like totally between like Ichigo and Ohara, where like neither of them would be like agreeing to like each other's like each other's like thought idea. Definitely members into agreement. So like at that point, most likely Urahara totally blackmailing Ichigo with like taking the life of Ichigo's like human body back in like Urahara's shop. And that way forcing Ichigo to go according to like Urahara's plan eventually is like the eventual scenario that I'm really bringing in my representation. Okay, so like definitely message in the representation with that like how would be totally and absolutely lying to like experience for about like and for all of know about as well as like they're like neither being like humans nor soul because definitely message in the religion like they would be like actually like human who have been like who have like the power to like turn into soul because precisely through like the precise training that Urahara might have only given that is definitely my religion and they might have only hidden like their soul reaper robe precisely soul reaper robe precisely through the precise like modified costumes that is the Urahara might have only created and given the those costumes that have the power to not be suppressed by like the dark storm that suppresses like that will most likely suppress spiritual energy. Effectively, like they would actually be humans that have the power to turn into like bodies of definitely mental impression. So like definitely mental impression right now as well. Like instead of finding like the scripting pressure of Kuroda Nova as well as like your strange, like it would totally have to do with like the precise floats that like they are wearing, like precisely like created clothes with like unique powers like created by precisely Kurahara, which would be like precise clothes for so that precisely like a Kurodo, like Nova as well as like Darren would be wearing. So definitely, and it would be due to like the effects of that those clothes. That would be the precise reason for like we should have finding like their fits and pressure range, especially my particular impression. Okay, so like actually my particular impression right now, as for like it should not only 9 about like still costing is like 20%. My particular impression is that like in actuality like it should have might not only lost like the majority of it should have 20,000, but still it should have would be still having like tiny bit of like 20,000 still remaining. But it would be like only a minuscule amount of electricity power that might currently exist within Seychelles. And considering the present distance due to that tiny bit of electricity power existing within Seychelles would be the solution for like Seychelles, even in like the process being able to like precisely sense like the strange spiritual pressure of like Garulo, Niren, and like Nova. Even better than Ichigo, it's definitely my considering version. So like I'm considering, especially my considering version that like the precise reason for like so like instead of the whole would be like totally expecting that like basically the next time those villains would be showing us like that for Ishida to actually be able to like push himself to be able to like bring out like just like Quincy attack, Quincy attack and power. So definitely my percentage reimbursement. When in actuality my percentage reimbursement were like it's like the current means to 20 powers that instead I would be currently having like instead I won't be at all be able to like use any of the like since attack would be like the current reality of like instead of situated. That was the only thing instead of major definitely not at all after instead of fight against like Mayuri, like after that like instead of might have not at all use any of this like Quincy might have not even tried, not even once at all to even not even once might have even tried or attempted to use like any of the like Quincy attacks at all. That name and percentage and so like about the remembering all this would be like collectively leading to like basically but like it was a referendum totally placing their hope on potentially that basically instead of being able to like precisely fight those three villains, like opposite only protecting like this would be definitely resulting in like instead of only once eventually those the next time those three villains will be showing up, it should not only be put in the spot where like instead of would be like trying to push himself to like bring out his like 20 attack, but none of them would do a thing, and that would be that ultimate shock for like Ichigo and Renji because like it was only at that point that they would be realizing that Ishida had lost his like main Quincy powers that basically Ishida currently cannot even use any of his like Quincy attack. So this totally leading to Ishida trying to fight and take on the three villains and basically that resulting in like basically Ishida not being able to like, use any of this like the attack and basically that way Ishida getting Ishida as well like being dragged into like that those precise gate fake follow gates definitely the scenario that I was on like and about my personal impression that for like Ishida it will be extremely important from Ishida point of view. Ishida would be finding it like extremely important for Ishida to like suddenly lie to like Ichigo about like him having a lot like the majority of his like the power. And like the precise reason would be precisely or him precisely because like Ishida would be definitely having that experience affectionate, genuine affectionate feelings towards like for him. That basically Ishida currently would be like worried about him for him more than anybody, more than even Ichigo or like Renji, like I'm said only bring like to do with the shit of that would be like to worry the most about like for him right now. Definitely my impression. That would be worried even more about like or even more than even sad definitely my impression. So precisely because of the reason like that would be so extremely desperate to like save or him as soon as possible, even more than Ichigo or like anybody else would be deserving that. It's definitely my position in the chance. So simply because of the reason like it would be only feeling that fear within him that basically if like either Ichigo or like the Renji finds out about like Ishida was having any the having lost like the majority of his ability power, then like Ishida would be only considering like the possibility that of like foreign having like actually being dragged into and actually being currently being trapped in like the world of gold. So like Ishida might be totally considering such a situation that basically it's eventually like the situation ends up being like it's going through like heading off to like the world of follows to like perfectly save for him at that point like definitely we should have simply if like Ichigo or French even finds out that Ishida has lost like the majority of his like 20 powers, then like basically like Ichigo and Renji won't be like taking Ishida with him, that won't be allowing Ishida to like go along with like Ichigo and Renji. So this year would be totally lying within Ishida. So like Ishida would be totally currently totally betting it all on like that on the scenario of like once like Ishida would be put into like the spot of like fighting against like those three villains. Like basically at that point Ishida being able like the Shinset to be able like bring out his like 20 attack and 20 power, his 420 attack and 50 powers, but like that definitely not happening at all. And that causing Ishida to get right into like the uh, fake against the follow against it's like the scenario that Ember did of the bring my person to Ember. Okay, so like the play that in the Ember right now is that like the front of Urahara would be currently totally wrong about like or he may be like the weakest member among like to go through and then only being shared also the clean members into the emergency because like it will be either him, that friend of Rahara, saying that consciously while knowing that it's precisely Shira that's like currently like the weakest in like it goes through, or like him like saying that without genuinely realizing that Ishida had basically lost it, like the majority of his secondary power. It's either one of these two positives, secondary member anyway, like secondary currently Urahara might know like all the updates and everything about like Ichigo's room and everything happened that has happened to them in like the Soul Society and everything. It's definitely my personal image and my personal is that like Urahara currently would be like precisely be able to like just sense like just be able to like sense and like Urahara would be like well fully aware that precisely like that precisely currently among like Ichigo's crew members like the currently the strongest one would be precisely, according to Rahara, would be precisely Orokine. And it will be Chad only, Chad's current strength would be only coming after like Orokine. That is like, it's definitely one of the famous. And the third would be like, Shida would be only like the third. It's definitely my personal preference. Shida without like, after losing his like majority of like the 20 powers would only be like the third weakest. Would be like the actually like the weakest member of like Ichigo's current crew member, especially my personal preference. Uh, it's like for him being currently being like the strongest, according to like Kurahara, definitely my personal preference. And why like Kurahara might have decided to like take out like for him as quickly as possible precisely because like Urahara might have totally feared like the possibility of like Ichigo like because like after like the first abduction of like Orihime like Ichigo totally figuring out some sort of a strategy and basically like like it being like harder and harder as like for like the second and third abduction so like those different because of this reason like Urahara might have only decided to like precisely abduct like the strongest crew member in like Ichigo's crew which might have been precisely original. So that like the next time, like when so be like when more expecting like another attack from those villains, like basically uh like for it to be like first member of the who's like less even more weaker than for him that's being precisely chat. And then only like Urahara planning on targeting Ishida. Would the Urahara plan is definitely not a great question. So like my personal impression right now is that like Urahara might have only thought alongside like the lines of strength rather than along the lines of like intelligence and sharpness in thinking. It's definitely my personal impression. And hence why like solely that way like the possibility of like the sharp and intelligent Ishida possibly figuring out that basically Urahara or her strategy, villain strategy might have been a thought that might have never crossed like for her mind. That's definitely my personal emergence. So like solely due to that reason might be like the sole reason for like uh, should most likely definitely going to be like the last person to the last target who would be like especially the last person to be like getting tracked by those three exact villains and getting trapped into that fake follow gate. Uh, it's definitely my person to be impression. And definitely putting with like Ishida, like I'm going to bring the whole dragging into like the fake follow gate situation would be like ending precisely with like Ishida getting finally get dragged into those fake follow gate. That's definitely my person to be impression. So like I definitely my person to be impression right now is that like the definitions like Ishida is like using phone as like a backpack like I'm going to bring like a straight here in soon on like Ishida I'm going to bring a to my percentage once like arrangement Ishida would be like this time would be like dragged into like the fake gates of like the whole like at that point definitely phone would be especially going dragged into like the first gate especially along with like Ishida. So definitely the scenario that I'm considering on everything is exactly like phone just throughout the entire fight like phone is still remaining as like the backpack of Ishida. So like with Ishida losing to those three villains and those three villains like causing Kishida alone like on to like basically get dragged into like separate cases of follow. It's like the scenario that I'm going to only thing. So but it's because the reason like I'm going to only thing eventually once like Ichigo and through would be like heading off to the actual world of the hollow through the actual gate of like the actual hollow gates that Urahara would be like on revealing to Ichigo and through like basically at that point, definitely I'm just did only thing eventually like for like as like a country members in there has like the team B of like Ichigo's friend like basically the team of like Chad or Hime as well as Ishida along with Stone as well as along with like Yoroki would be like the team B and like as they would be heading off to like the world of Holocron so they only thing like Stone as well to only be there into like the entering that way into like the world of Hollow like the scenario which is scenario that I'm also referring so like this time definitely unlike like in like those adventures in like the South Society time I'm considering eventually once like Ichigo enters like the world of Hollows and like during Ichigo's like extremely dangerous like adventures in like the world of Hollow in the actual world of Hollows like there I'm also referring Stone presence definitely is to totally lighten things up especially since like horrors are disturbing creatures like there's only something like Ron's presence there in like the during like which was like dangerous and like adventures in like the world of horror like Ron's presence like basically lightening things up often is like the winter scenario that I was depressing. So like I definitely not very interested right now. And for this time, like the third time alone for like they're in totally announcing like ordering like each of them to like leave their weapons as they set out to like find their like the thing it would be precisely because of like precisely because of like the interaction between like Ichigo and Kurahara connecting to like Ichigo and all of them like while Urahara was in like the presence of Urahara while they talked about like using their Bankai powers that uses Kido like against like precisely these precisely like three villains. So like precisely to avoid such a scenario because like the film members remembers that even though that like Kido Star Storm would be definitely having like the power to like greatly diminish like the spiritual energies of like Ichigo and Kuro. But they're only protecting still like for Haramaito expected like the worst case scenario in which like Ichigo and Kuro still possibly like either Ichigo or like Renji still possibly being able to like bring out their Bankai powers and even fighting against like these three villains against using their Bankai powers as like they will be trying to like attack Ishida. So that's a worst case scenario like for Haramaida totally foreseen in his mind. So like I'm working with safety because of like foreseeing such a possible scenario that like for Haramaida secretly like formed this secretly or Haramaida possibly formed these three henchmen subordinates of like Urahara would be specifically Karuno, like Nova, as well as like Darren. So like Urahara might have specifically told them and given them the order to like precisely ensure that basically once like if you go and through will be showing up at like the museum, like for precisely for them to like give the order to each and through to like precisely leave their weapon and as like and like as they will be searching for them. It's definitely so like I was just totally something like the moment Ichigo and Kuro would be like leaving their weapon and like playing their for hide and seek game with like their numbers differing precisely like their like other like the other two villains like basically taking one of like them like basically is taking away like those weapons. So like I was differing by the time like Liren would be eventually showing herself like at that point like and trying to like take away drag Ishida into like the fake gate, the fake hollow gate. Like at that point, like Ichigo and Renji wouldn't be even having like any of their weapons by their side at all to even be able to like use any of their Bankai powers and try to like in order to like stop Liren in order to stop Liren from like and prevent like Ishida from getting dragged into and trapped into like the hollow the fake prologue is definitely my percentage impression. So this is like the little scenario that I'm different and my percentage impression. Here so like I definitely my percentage impression right now. Like so like the museum having like a room that goes on forever. Like definitely my percentage impressions that might totally have to do with like what precisely Ishida had precisely sense something strange that precisely Ishida had sense like precisely the moment Ishida stepped into that yellowish color room which might have been precisely the part in that original museum where like precisely the like spiritual power or like spiritual power was like precisely placed onto that room right like behind that museum like right behind like the whole dinosaur fossil was like placed in like the museum. It's definitely my person to impression. So like definitely my goes into the impressions that like Urahara might have precisely trained and precisely even taught like for three villain henchmen would be definitely Urahara's like subordinate. So like Urahara since like Urahara himself have as well as Yorichi have like already revealed that basically was like Urahara having his like tiny shop that has like a basement like training location that like extremely huge and even Yorichi as well like basically back in Soul Society being able to like create his own like unique kind of like a few like secret place like basically all this would be like doable for Yoruba as well as Torahara using their unique physical powers especially my percentage and pressure. So that precise physical powers like especially uh especially Urahara might have either thought like one or three of these subordinate villains of Urahara or like I'm considering it might have been, it might not be like some spiritual power. It might have been like some spiritual device that Urara created in existence path that allowed this to be offered. And hence, it's that the other possibility that I'm considering. And hence why, like, the museum have precisely rooms that goes on forever and that that spiritual power or like that spiritual device might have been activated precisely at the moment it has stepped into that yellowish room. It's definitely my personal impression. Like it got activated and hence why it's like precisely it's hence why it should have perfectly sensed something strange the very moment he stepped into that precisely yellowish room. It's definitely my personal impression. Like it doesn't even put into the impression right now with this like it's just our own place within the museum and was different either for like the theme of like Ishida, Ichigo as well as Renji to like consciously decide to like split up and just play that for hide and seek game. That's like one possibility that was different or like the other possibility is basically for like Inderen to like basically that's the other possibility that I'm most interested for like Inderen to like most likely show up around like the corner of one of the rooms one of them that's the thing and basically even though it began with like a hide and seek game, like at that point I was learning from a distance, like telling them that like she has changed the game into tag. So like basically they have to tag learn to be able to like get back like Orchimedes and all of them stuff. So like at that point, like I'm also learn totally like freaking like Ichigo and throw into like basically showing up at different locations. So like I'm only putting like Ichigo either Ishida or like Ichigo. Most likely I'm also putting maybe it should be either most likely Ishida that would be coming up with the idea to like split up so that like they would be able to like they would be having like more of the chance of like being able to like tag their that villain. And so like at that point like I'm also putting the session that they will be splitting up like potentially like the other two members like the other two villains like precisely showing up, right? Where like Ishida would have along the path that Ishida would have traveled by himself, to Japan traveled by himself. So like they are like Ishida totally getting cornered by these other two villains who would be like precisely bringing out that fake hollow gate right in front of Ishida, and like that way Ishida getting tracked through that fake hollow gates. It's like a scenario that I'm about to bend. The moment Ishida would be getting tracked through that, like I'm different precisely, the endless room would be like instantly switched back by Lirin to the actual normal room of like the museum. So which would be like totally different. So like at that point, like Ishida, at that point, like Ichigo and Renji totally shockingly realizing that basically they have been tricked because like at that point, I'm going to bring precisely the three villains like precisely showing up and basically like Ichigo and Renji like at that point realizing that they have been tricked and like that Ishida have been like Ishida also have been like taken away by them. So like at that point, like the three villains henchmen of like Urahara totally laughing at like Ichigo and Renji and basically them like leaving just like that. It's like so scenario that I was doing. And Ichigo and Renji won't be able to like do anything at all because like because of like them having like lost their whole Zen factor. So it's like that other scenario that I'm looking at the so the other positive like while after like losing Ishida like Ichigo and Renji being extremely enraged and basically them like totally running out of that room and basically trying to like get back their Zen factor, but they are like them finding like their Zen factor missing at that point in that particular location in that museum. So like at that point, like Ichigo and Renji not being able to do anything at all, and like these like three villains like escaping and leaving just like that. And then Bossipering either like the next day, Ichigo like these according to like Ohara's secret orders, like these villains, like these three villains, like taking Ichigo and Renji's like swords and then back to and basically placing them putting them in like allowing the path of Ichigo and Renji the next day so that like they would be like both Ichigo and Renji will be totally confused as like finding like their Zanpakuto. Maybe Ichigo finding his Zanpakuto in his own room as like one possible that I'm considering as well like Renji finding his Zanpakuto as his like steps out of like Urahara's shop like basically lying on the ground somewhere basically like essentially like the villains like keeping it keeping the Zanpakuto, putting the Zanpakuto in such a manner for them to like without much delay find out get back their Ichigo and Renji to like get back their Zanpakuto so that like especially according to like Urahara's plan like the secret villain's plan like Urahara might be extremely important for Urahara for like Ichigo and Renji to like get back their Zanpakuto as soon as possible so that like as soon as like uh, so that like Urahara would like soon move to his like next part of his plans to like precisely get Ichigo and Renji to precisely like as if to create such a situation where like Ichigo and Renji to basically head off to like the actual world of followers to like thinking that that way they would be like saving like precisely Shab or Hime and Ishida while the three of them would be during that time would be potentially present in like that host basement like location or like in some or specific room in like the basement of like the house shop. Definitely the scenario that I was just on again was into your impression. So like I believe my was into the impression right now as for like the precise reason for like the special dark rooms between like the maze of like the rooms like I'm just only thing will be precisely intended to like precisely place Ichigo and Renji from Ishida. So definitely not the precisely because of like Leather and the other two will like the target would be precisely Ishida. To precisely like get Ishida to precisely drag Ishida into that precisely precise follow game would be like their plan. So like definitely members in the membership that it was like Ishida might not only like outsmart them and like with this like board of string strategy of inform, especially my personal members. So like I'm considering like also my personal impressions that like definitely the business names like they would definitely even after like splitting even after like forcing Ichigo as well as Renji to like basically give up their Zan factors like even separate after like separating their Zan factors from them like even after that like I'm considering especially since like uh all three of like the It's like the third time the three villains are like really approaching like Ichigo and crew. Like I'm going to bring Urahara might have certainly given them that secret precise order that basically be as prepared as you can. Basically, even after like Urahara precisely would be like the first person who might have precisely given the idea to like precisely separate the Zanpakuto from Ichigo as well as Renji. But still, even after that, like Urahara might have secretly ordered might have told those three villains that they still even with like Ichigo and Renji not even having like their vampires, still you have to be extremely wary and like extremely careful of like Ichigo and Renji. Might have been what like Urahara might have told those three subordinate villains of like Urahara. It's definitely my personal impression precisely because of like how much precisely because this being like the third time and so like that much like both Renji and Ichigo would be like prepared for like your attack on them. So like they really and like would be they would be totally expecting you to like the three subordinates to like try to like once again not only attack them and like they will be prepared for like the bossing stage like them trying to like once again drag one of like the three Ichigo, Renji, and Ishida to that process gate of like the whole of like they will be like totally coming to that process museum while being precisely prepared for like such a scenario. So precisely because of this reason, Urahara made out precisely told like to three villains subordinates that you have to be that much prepared. So like you have to ensure to like split them up if you want to precisely in order for the three villains to be able to like precisely be able to get abduct Ishida and like drag Ishida into like the whole gate. Might have been like the plans that Ishida might have totally told them. It's definitely not the Remington. So that would be exactly what like these three villain subordinates of Urahara might be trying to achieve right now. It's definitely not the Remington. So Ishida currently might not only it should be solely because of like Ishida only outsmarting like those three villains henchmen subordinates of Urahara would be like the precise reason for like this entire maze of rooms would be constantly be able to like be manipulated as per their wish of like the first person who use like the spiritual powers to create this like maze like room. It's definitely my personal dimension. So like even with like the room manipulation powers, like still like the whole unexpected scenario might have definitely been Ishida outsmarting them with like the spring strategy through phone. It's definitely my personal dimension. So in order to like forcefully like split them up Ichigo and Renji from Ishida to would be like the precise reason for like that room manipulation being done in such a manner right now with like that special spring dark top appearing all of a sudden. It's definitely my personal impression. Being present all of a sudden, it's definitely my personal impression. So like the scenario that I was just working right now is that like I was referring to possibilities. Either precisely as Ichigo and Renji would be like the first two to like enter that precise dark dawn. And once like Ichigo and Renji would be entering like Ichigo would be like the last person to like enter that dark room. So like I'm those dark room door. So precisely as Ichigo and Renji would be entering that dark door, like precisely one of the sudden like the dark door shutting down. It's like once like the scenario that I'm looking at listening. So like precisely at the moment like that I'm preparing for like the door to like very quickly the dark door to like precisely shut and basically quickly shut and basically that closing it should to like get split up from Ichigo and Renji. At that point it's important to protect like the among like three villain subordinates of Urahara and considering two of them like totally appearing in front of like Ichigo as well as Renji. So totally with like the faith intent to like totally distract them while precisely Indurance most likely would be appearing in front of Ishida. It's like the scenario that I was referring. And Indurance would be like Ishida would be totally trying to bring out his like 20 powers and 20 attack. But like none of them would be working against like Indurance and that was totally protecting like because Ishida won't be able to won't be still having access to his like Quincy attack. So Ishida totally being trapped and unable to do anything like it's like a scenario that I was bring and Lauren quickly like pulling out that precise fake follow gates and that way Ishida getting tracked into that fake follow gates and getting trapped. It's like the scenario that I'm personally only protecting and my personal impression. Okay, so like definitely my perspective and impression right now is that looks like along with like Ishida, Ichigo as well as like Renji as well being trapped in like display case like definitely the scenario that I was only putting right now is for like the extremely dark and like extremely dark room and those prepping to the only right then go fully dark and without much delay in time I was only prepping like the room to like to basically get lightened up and like the light to fall once again into that room. And basically at that point, I'm just literally nothing like precisely Ichigo and Renji like being like totally shocked. Because like at that point, like when light comes into like a room, like at that point, like what Ichigo and Renji would be seeing will be like the two of them would be no more trapped within that display case. But like what they would be like witnessing would be like Ishida would be totally missing. And not just Ishida, but like Chad as well as for him who was trapped in that display case, like along with like Chad as well, like totally missing. It's like the scenario that I'm also different, and I'm also predicting that once like the light comes out, comes out like I'm also predicting like at that point like the room, like the maze like room as well would have totally contained and instantly would have returned back to like the original museum room with like the whole maze like effect being removed. It's also like the scenario that I'm considering, and that would be how like I'm considering most likely Ishida will be like getting under the ring, possibly getting like teleported that way to some other location through that display cave trap, and then considering that location like Ishida would be like confronted by like the three subordinate villain, and basically Ishida at that point like would be totally cornered and wouldn't be able to like do anything against them. With like Ishida not even being able to have any access to his like agency attack. So like at that point like the whole like fake hollow gate opening up, and basically that way should I getting pulled into it and like getting trapped in the and passing through that fake hollow gate like the scenario that affects the literary and considering it. So like the element of impression right now is that like the display case trap as well will be like a trap given to like the three villain subordinates of Urahara by precisely Urahara. So definitely my person to precisely use on like Ichigo and definitely my person to so like I'm considering with like phone breaking Ichigo up like I'm considering by in between that time precisely Ishida might have totally already been abducted by like the three subordinate villains who definitely my person to so like considering like they would be not only absolutely having like these three subordinate villains would be absolutely having fun and we'll be totally messing with like Ichigo and Renji right now, especially my consideration, especially because like the Ishida that is like currently right next to Ichigo and Renji, precisely has spawned both Ichigo up like that Ishida would be totally not the real Ishida. That Ishida would be precisely like one of like the three enemy villain subordinate of Ishida basically like using their whole transformation power like in between that short time they might have only transformed in that darkness they might have simultaneously abducted Ishida as well as like quickly use transformation magic to like transform themselves into making them look like into one of them transform themselves into making them look like Ishida. Definitely my person's impression. So like but even though they would have like absolutely no need to like even do such a thing like it would be just them totally having fun and messing with like tricking like Ichigo and Renji. It's definitely my person's impression. So like that's if Ishida right now that's like right next to Ichigo and Renji would be like a fake and not the actual Ishida. It's definitely my person's impression. It's so like definitely my personal impression right now is that like it will be solely due to like Kon being like a mod soul, being like the sole reason for like all these traps set by these three villain subordinates, most likely of Orohara. Like all these traps, like none of these traps being able to like affect Son, like would be solely due to like the fact that factor that like Son is like a mod soul. It's definitely my personal impression. Mod soul would be totally unaffected would be like resistance to like these whole tricky magic of like these three villain subordinates of these three villain subordinates of Urahara, especially members of the Renaissance. So, and my book, the Renaissance, that even though like Ichigo had, I think like had a revealed in while in like Urahara's presence that basically about like Ichigo bringing phone as well. So to like just like museum location. Still, Ambassador wrote everything like since it was like a last minute decision by Ichigo, Ambassador bringing Urahara. might have not had like enough time to basically basically give set up the trap so that like such a way so that like it would also affect like phone because like Orhara might have not until that point Orhara might have not at all even expected at all for like the possibility of like phone as well being totally being with like Ichigo and Renji and Ishida while they would be faced with like the three enemy villain subordinates of Urahara for the third time. Just definitely members into the Emperor. So it's like definitely members into the Emperor right now. So that like this time it will be solely due to like Phone being like present with like Ichigo for this time and basically Phone being like a ModSoul and hence Phone being like not only a resistant to like the effects of all this threat set by these three villain like henchmen of Urahara would be like the sword pieces for like the Freshmen of Urahara having a hard time and even taking them so long for them to precisely even like attack and take away Ishida, especially my person Immersion. So like right now everything was like Ichigo precisely pulling on the red spring precisely while Ichigo on pulling on the red step. At least my person impressions right now is that like precisely for Ichigo and through like precisely all of a sudden like seeing that precise silver metallic pole with like the red spring. That metallic pole with the red spring would be like the next ultimate trap set by the three villain subordinates of Hara, especially members in Preparation. That pole, metallic pole with like the red spring would be like their next trap. So like precisely as Ichigo pulls on like that like a red spring on that precise pole, which that Ichigo would be the only thing that was like the exact pole and like the exact red threads that they had tied in at the beginning. Like I'm just wondering that would be totally a fake fall and like a fake threat. Definitely not going to render. So like I'm considering slightly like and I'm considering only putting this precise three subordinate villain subordinate henchmen of Urahara would be precisely having like the power to like turn themselves invisible. Definitely my positive emergence. So like they might be secretly following Ichigo and Pro around and will be totally observing everything they will be doing. It's definitely my positive. And also they would be having like their powers to like see definish like and hide away their spiritual pressure and spiritual energy definitely and that way like almost like fully like totally hide their presence even while being like present close to like Ichigo and Pro. It's definitely it's like that system is definitely my preference. So like what they might have like these villainous three henchmen subordinates of Urahara, what they might have done would be like precisely right now because they don't bring Ichigo pulling on the red string would be like Ichigo simply pulling on like a fake red string set up by those three villainous henchmen. Just definitely my preference. So like one of those villainous henchmen precisely Ichigo pulled on the red string like precisely might have pulled on like the red spring, the original red spring tied to spawn. It's definitely my personal dream. And that way, like took spawn away from like the separated spawn away from potentially Ichigo and Kuru. It's definitely my personal dream. Yet doing that in like a convincing manner so that like Ichigo and Ichigo Renji as well as Ishida won't be like so that like since it's like done in like it would be like not done in like a convincing manner like Ichigo and Renji as well as like Ichigo-Renji as well as like Urahara, Ichigo-Renji as well as like Ishida would be totally expecting like Swan to like basically turn back through the other side, but like they're totally pretending it would be precisely like so precisely so only due to like Ichigo-Renji and this time like Ichigo-Renji as well as like Ishida won't be chasing after like Swan, yeah. So that way won't be able chasing after the Swans because they would be convinced and tricked it would be precisely because of that way, like I'm considering right now, it would be like one of like the villain henchmen of Urahara would be like pulling on spring right now, and basically that way would be like currently would have like totally separated phone from like Ichigo and Pro right now, especially my considering. So like right now they're totally separating and like they would be getting enough time to like hide away phone and get away with like phone by like Ichigo by like for Ichigo would be like on the other side, basically for Ichigo would be like keeping on pulling on the spring and basically waiting for like cons to like basically show up. And I'm different like right now like the size con the right now I'm different two possibilities like either like the phone showing up from like the other side through like the first string that Ichigo would be pulling, but like that phone will be precisely like one of like three villain henchmen in disguise as Spawn. That's like showing up through the fake string that Ichigo will be pulling. It's like 1% to that ambassador ring, or like ambassador ring Ichigo keeping on pulling on the fake red string for a while, but like ambassador ring after a while, Ichigo, and neither Ichigo, Frenzy, nor like Ishida, not even hearing any voice of like Spawn at all, and like then totally finding like and as like Ichigo will be like pulling like the red string for a long time, and basically Ichigo finally finding like the end of like the red string like totally empty, like that way totally gone missing. And so like even by the like so, a lot of time might have passed. So like by the time like Ichigo and RNG and like Ishida would be trying to like chase after like that like locate those which like had left, like basically by then like it would be too late, and like the three villain henchmen would have had like gotten like enough time to like basically abduct phone away and take phone away, and that way separating phone from Ichigo and Renji and Ishida definitely my percent interest. So that like told at that point it would be like a mission accomplished for like the three villain henchmen with like having phone separated from Ichigo and through Ichigo Ishida and Renji, so that like then it would be like things would be happening at like a fast pace with like quickly without much delay, like Ishida would be getting dragged into like that hollow gates at that point. It's like the scenario that I was developing and my documentary intention. And my documentary intention that like the scenario ends up being like at like Ichigo will be pulling on the fake red string with like basically font actually like the fake font, which would be precisely like one of the villainous henchmen, like this guy's that phone, and this guy and being tied to like the faker string that Ichigo will be pulling like shows up. Then supporting like that villainous henchman, like they really describe that phone, like basically totally acting like phone, and basically totally that way totally misguiding like Ichigo, the trio of like Ichigo, Renji as well as Ishida to precisely be able to like easily like split them up or like get them into trouble, and that way basically with the precise fake villain sentiment disguised as phone, like it being like far too easy at that point, and also with like the actual real phone like basically being separated from Ichigo, Ishida and Renji, like it being the ends the three of them not being able to like realize that like phone it's like the fake phone that's like along with like right right and like along being with them. So that way it being like that fake villain who's like would be like on at that point would be totally misguiding Ichigo, and so it went over to like easily be able to like basically trap and take away Ishida from Ichigo and Renji. It's like the other possible scenario that I was looking at my person to relationships. Okay, so like definitely my person right now with like Ichigo and Renji totally splitting up. Like I'm definitely right now in like the third font on like Ishida's shoulder would be precisely like a fake font, which would be like the villain, enemy villain in one of like the enemy villain testament subordinate of like Ryan guy. Is definitely my personal and this might be like the reason for like Ishida even feeling strange as for like Ishida initially feeling as if like he had figured out like the whole L-shaped movement formula as to like avoiding traps and everything, but still, my personal emotions were like what might have still not felt right, but Ishida might have been precisely the fact that like precisely which as to like the first directions always like won't have appeared when Ichigo had pulled down like the string. It's definitely my personal impression. And hence like currently right now with like Ishida as like precisely Renji as well as like Ichigo like splitting up like about the ring, Ishida all of a sudden being totally shocked to be precisely Ishida comes to the realization that so that phone is like simple L shape can avoid traps like definitely when Ichigo had pulled on like the string like at that point like basically Kon should have totally the actual truth Kon should have fallen into that trap. So like then the bring Kon Ishida right now come to the realization that like Kon should not have appeared through that right door through which like Kon had appeared when precisely Ichigo had pulled on the red string. So like basically at that right now, like the shock of Ishida might most likely be like Ishida coming to the realization that that precise font that precisely came out through that door, and precisely like when Ichigo had pulled on the red string, and that precise very same phone that's like right now currently like resting on like Ishida's shoulder is actually like a fake phone. It should be precisely like the villain in disguise that phone. Like basically like Ishida coming to that shocking realization right now, like the scenario that I'm only putting in my present conversation. So like I'm different with like the current situation being like Ichigo and Renji getting angry and splitting up and walking sideways. Like I'm considering like even though Ishida right now might not only realize that like I'm considering like right now that the tone in this guy is like basically like taking its like true form of like the villain and like quickly pulling out like the most likely quickly pulling out uh like the door of like the gates of like follow the fake gates of like the follow, and that way like by the time like Ishida and Renji would be like deciding to like and about to bring right then like for Ishida to like totally shout out and calling out to the names of like Ichigo and Renji. So like Ichigo and Renji like rise on hearing like Ichida's voice like instantly like realizing something is wrong. And like by the time Ichigo and Renji would be like quickly returning back to like the place room where they had left Ishida along Ishida, like at that point, like them talking witnessing like the precise like one of like the villains precisely being beside Ishida, and like this precise like gate of like precise follow gates like opening up beside Ishida, and like Ishida being dragged through that follow gates, which is precisely what Shizuo and Renji would be only seeing, while they would be like turning back to like the space room where Ishida would be definitely my secondary and as for like the scenario that I posted on the quick and my secondary and yeah, so like I definitely my secondary and right now is like this is like right now it's like a reveal that basically Toro Nova as well as like Endurance are like not so they were definitely created by Urahara, and basically predicting like even though like Ishida is like so extremely sharp and had sold and basically even had almost like captured one of like the even figured out like they were monsters and had even captured was about to even capture one of like the monsters like even though Ishida and solely due to Ishida like it went through Kutuban Renji was even able to like solve and escape from like the puzzle like basically even when Ishida is like expert this staff to like the extreme levels like still my personal impression that like there will be also that like a naive side to like Ishida that's like totally unable to like and even kind of tense side to like Ishida's thinking forwardly that's like totally unable to like comprehend that they do like especially even with like Ishida finding out that these three are like ModSoul like even and since like ModSouls were like experimented upon and created back in like the Soul Society and still for like Ishida to like and even by like it went through even knows of like basically Ishida would by now would totally know that basically like that of like the fact that basically like most souls were created by the through experiment by like the research department in like the Soul Society, and even after like Ishida would be currently by now would be totally knowing that like basically that like Urahara was once like the head of like the research department before like Mayuri took up that position from for that position from like Urahara. Even while connecting or even while all this would perfectly connect, like certainly when going to research that like still like it should have only a still see that then side to it should have thinking that like even while Ishida would be like totally sharp when it comes to like figuring out all this like and that would be precisely hence like instead of being able to like figure out like food stuff and like skills like there would be that extreme that side to like instead of thinking that would be the reason for instead of totally being able to like even after gaining all this like information like it should have still not being able to like connect the simple dot into like that way figuring out that like Urahara would definitely be like the villain and like the man behind like everything that's like happening right now. That's definitely my personal impression. So like definitely my personal impression that like back in like the Soul Society back when like Urahara was like the head of like, the research department might have been precisely when like this like mod soul experimentation and mod soul creation might have been done. So like and Urahara might have been part of like the mod soul creation. So like I'm considering later on once like the order to like eradicate all the take the life of and destroy all the mod souls was like it should most likely by maybe going to say like or like the central court if it might have issued the order. So anyway, at that point, like I'm considering Urahara might have been totally against all this. Like and like I'm personally my personal impression that like back then like Urahara might have been totally against like that the modes that he who might have definitely been played a major role in like the involvement of creation, like being given the being like the order from like either center forces or enterprise to like eradicate all of them. Like Urahara might have been totally against that also back then. That's definitely my personal impression. So like anyway, like in the present still this very same Urahara might have precisely created like these three modes, so which is like the precise intent to, and I'm considering in the case of Urahara might have definitely not be intending at all to like take the life of these three monsters, but like I'm considering precisely as like how exactly Urahara might have got us to three monsters to like precisely follow each and every single command of Urahara. It should be what they would be doing right now. So definitely my presentation. Share and right. It will be precisely through Urahara most likely threatening these three monsters to like take their life. Uh, that like the three modes also be well and fully aware that Urahara is like their creator. So like they will be totally afraid of like the threat that Urahara might have already made on them that he would take the life of all three of them if like they don't listen to the orders of Urahara. Might have been what Urahara might have done with like the past is definitely my was in the remember. So like Urahara might have already given them the orders to like basically yeah, and according to Quran, orders would be what like the most source would be currently doing is definitely my best interest. So like my best impression is that like the three most source currently would be like totally well and fully aware that basically that Quran definitely wants like it to like eventually enter into like the actual world of Hollow. Is would be one thing these three modes of will be well and fully aware of. It's definitely my best interest. So in order to do that, like the current orders that Quran might have given these three modes also might have been to like precisely get Chad or him as well as Kushida to like get pulled into and getting trapped into like this fake hollow gate. This might have been like the current process orders given to check these three modules by Urahara exactly my brain. So like this time in like the whole endless row puzzle like basically might have been precisely Ishida that might have been like the target of like these three modules. Certainly my brain impression. So and but they're only putting like for her like plan might have definitely been to like that way like create that absolute fear in like Ichigo with like having three of his like good best friends like Ishida sad as well as for him getting trapped into what appears as if like they had actually been trapped in like the world of follows like basically that way to like create that fear within Ichigo so that like Ichigo would just really seeking the help of like Urahara to rescue Chak on him and as well as Ishida so that way, like for her would be able to like go alongside, get Ichigo to like go to like the whole society. I mean, like get Ichigo to like go to like the world of Polo, so that like that way to get Ichigo to like eventually somehow eventually fight Ethan and to like trick Ichigo even in like the world of Polo to basically make trick Ichigo into thinking that basically you know that Ethan had basically it was all the work of Ethan. That might have also been like Urahara's plan to like go along with Ichigo to like the world of Boros and then to like basically Urahara might not only figure Ichigo out like that basically Ichigo was like not that hard to like trick. It might have been one thing that Urahara might be aware of. So like Urahara's plan might have been to like basically eventually get Ichigo into like the world of Boros and to like totally trick Ichigo into thinking that basically it was all Ethan's work that like Chad or Hime and it should have been sad and documentary should have been brought into like the world of horror. So like in order to get in order to save Chad or him and it should like Ichigo will be having to like fight up against Aizen and defeat Aizen and get back so that like at that point like Urahara will be getting it like Hobigus and then like Urahara and then at that point it wouldn't even care for Urahara at all. Even if like Ichigo found out that Urahara just like in that time was like only breaking Ichigo and that basically like chat or email it should are actually presenting like the basement like location of like Urahara's shop. Uh, basically like this might have been like Urahara's actual plan to certainly my book but like right now but like precisely like Ishida totally outsmarting even Urahara and wholly does like Ishida like the puzzle trap set for Ishida totally being like outsmarted by Ishida like and my posterior pressures were like precisely for like the mode source to like precisely return right and quickly return like chat as well as origin was precisely due to like them being forced to do that precisely because of like it should have precisely using like the substitute sort of purpose like basically like Ishida having like fought one of like the ModSoul. Like at that point, like the ModSoul, since, like they would have like the absolute teamwork. So like they might not only fear the possibility of like Ishida with like Ishida potentially capturing like Nova, like the ModSoul Nova. Like at that point, like the other two children as well as like the other ModSoul might not only fear the possibility of like Ishida with this like Nova capture, like Ishida only interrogating like Nova, and that way like through Nova, Ishida and Ichigo and Ichigo, Ishida as well as Renji finding out that basically Urahara is like actually like the person behind all this like everything that these three mortals are doing. So like basically if Ichigo even finds that out, like basically like the mission of like the order given to these three mortals by Urahara, these three mortals would be like would be ending up being failing to like achieve that mission. And so that happens, then like they will be totally, these three mortals will be totally fearing like the possibility of like Urahara told you to like the three mortals like failing in this mission, like Urahara basically taking their life and destroying them. Like basically generally that absolute fear within them. And it will be just precisely due to the reason that basically Kururo, the precise mode for Kururo precisely appeared and caught the attention of like Ichigo and Vishal and Renji, so that like they would say something. And precisely that way like Kururo precisely straight away deciding to like release Chad as well as Orihime, so that like they through that might have been precisely the strategy that Sorono precisely used to precisely save Nova from like Ishida's captivity. Definitely went into the references, so that like they would get like more chances to like precisely once again set their trap on like Ishida. Once again set their trap on like Ichigo and Shiro, so that like basically like at least like the next time they would be able to like set the trap is even more like a difficult manner, so that uh, like basically hopefully like these remote hosts will be able to like get Ichigo and Kuro to basically eventually enter into like the actual world of Horus through their them completing in like these three modes completing their mission. If we what these three modes might be totally planning right now, and this would be what they might have done until this point. It's definitely my consideration and position right now. So definitely my consideration versions are like with like the attempt of these three mortals being a failure. Like I'm considering that these three mortals now would be only contacting, secretly phoning and contacting Urahara, and at that point I'm considering as for like the next part I'm considering these three mortals will be setting up for it and bro. That I'm considering to be totally different. And as for the next step I'm considering it to be like Urahara would be totally giving that some sort of a device to like actually activate like the actual original engaged to like the world of Hollow. It's definitely my personal emergence. And like in like the very next craft that will be set up by the three modes and the different like the Ichigo and friends like collectively together seeing falling from that craft, and like the Ichigo chat or Hime Ishida as well as like Renji all together falling from that trap, and basically like the all of them like collectively like actually getting trapped and fall getting trapped into like the actual world of Hollow in such a manner. It's like the scenario that I'm only putting as for like it's a situation with like Ichigo's friend that would be happening to Ichigo's friend like the next time. It's definitely is a percent reimbursement. And the only thing is to like only happen without much delay at all. Because potentially because like Urahara wouldn't be even in like the mode at all to like waste any more time, potentially because of the like Urahara to and I'm fully aware that like not much time is left until like Nathan would be able like to like the power of like the overview, and that would be like the ultimate nightmare for Urahara. So like I'm considering as for like the present like trap like will be three more to be placing for like Ichigo and Cruz will be like the trap of like the actual gates of like the gates into like the world of Apollos, in which like if you go and through will be totally falling into and getting trapped into that world of Apollos. And then the different movie but after like if you go and through would be like getting trapped into like the world of Apollos, like into like the actual world of Apollos, and like would be struggling there against like all sorts of Apollos. Like it would be at that point like when the brain if you go and through would be like kind of like exploring like the world of Apollos with them totally unable to like return back to like the world of humans, like them totally having no other option but to explore like the world of all of and able to bring eventually for like to go and pro to get into themselves into such extreme troubles like situations, just like the scenario that I'm considering. And it would be at that point that I'm considering precisely most likely the team three. That would be the precisely the team of like Urahara, Yorichi, and like maybe Rukia as well, possibly. Or like it would be just Urahara and Yorichi alone. That will be like showing up as like playing the role of like the saviors at that point. And that way, I'm considering for like Urahara and Yorichi like join and like Ichigo and through and like then like Urahara and Yorichi totally putting on like the ultimate fake act and making Ichigo and through actually believe that like they won't be able to like return back to like the world of living unless like they are able to like defeat like the leader of like the whole that's like currently Jason and basically in such a manner like Urahara and Yorichi totally tricking for Ichigo and through and that way that eventually leading to like Ichigo actually bringing them and maybe like eventually being forced to like have that an option but to feel like he has absolutely no other option but to like eventually find and fight Ethan before like Ethan possess like the power of Holy Two. It's like the eventual scenario that I'm going to be mixing and I'm going to be in picture.